6 habits that changed my life in 1 week. These lessons will change your. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like life's just dragging you along? Like no matter how hard you try, things just don't seem to change? I've been there, trust me. There was a time when I was stuck in a loop, feeling tired, overwhelmed, and just out of balance. Every day felt like a repeat of the last one. I wasn't happy with the way things were going, and I knew deep down that something had to change. But here's the thing. I didn't make a huge, dramatic change. I didn't quit my job, move to another country, or do anything that would make a headline. What I did was start small. In fact, I started with just 6 habits that completely turned my life around in just 1 week. Sounds impossible, right? I thought so too. But by committing to these simple, everyday habits, I began to feel more energized, more focused, and honestly, more alive. And today, I'm here to share these 6 game-changing habits with you. I'm not going to waste your time with fluff. This isn't about motivational speeches or unrealistic promises. These are habits that, if you give them a shot, will change the way you live your life in ways you never expected. So, if you're ready to break free from that hamster wheel of frustration and start living with more intention, clarity, and energy, stick around. These 6 habits are simple, practical, and absolutely powerful. And I'm about to show you how they transform my life, and how they can change yours too. Part 1. Habit number 1. Early morning meditation. Okay, let's start with the first habit that changed my life. Early morning meditation. Now, I know what you're thinking. Meditation? Really? That's just something people do in a quiet room with candles, right? Well, that's exactly what I thought too before I started. But hear me out. I used to wake up feeling anxious. I'd check my phone as soon as my eyes opened, read the news, scroll through social media, and before I even got out of bed, my mind was already racing. The pressure of the day ahead would hit me like a ton of bricks. I was mentally exhausted before even starting my day, and it was a cycle I couldn't escape. Then, one morning, I decided to try something different. I set my phone aside and took a few minutes to just sit in silence. I focused on my breath, inhaling deeply, and then exhaling slowly. And I'll be honest, the first few days felt awkward. My mind kept wandering, and I thought, what's the point of this? I could be doing something productive instead. But here's what happened over time. In just a week, I started to notice a shift. The constant chatter in my head calmed down. I wasn't rushing out of bed to check emails. I felt more centered, more aware of the present moment, and more at peace. It wasn't about trying to clear my mind completely. It was about allowing myself the space to breathe, to think, and to be still before the chaos of the world set in. So what did I learn? Meditation isn't some mystical, abstract practice. It's a way of resetting your mind. It's like giving your brain a pause button before you dive into your day, and trust me, it works. You don't need a fancy setup or a lot of time. Just 5-10 minutes every morning can make a huge difference. You might be skeptical, and that's okay. But I challenge you to try it for just 1 week. Find a quiet spot, close your eyes, and breathe. Let your mind rest. See how it feels. Part 2. Habit number 2. Journaling for clarity. Now, on to the next habit that made a huge difference. Journaling for clarity. If you're anything like I was, you probably have a million thoughts swirling around in your head on a daily basis. Work stress, personal stuff, goals, dreams, things you wish you could change. It's exhausting just thinking about it, right? Here's the thing. Writing things down has a magical way of clearing up mental clutter. I started journaling when I realized how overwhelming my thoughts had become. I wasn't sure what I wanted, where I was going, or even how I was feeling. It felt like there was too much going on in my head for me to focus on anything. So, one day, I picked up a pen and started writing down whatever came to mind. It wasn't pretty, and it wasn't structured. But it was honest. In the beginning, I just wrote about how I felt, the stuff that was stressing me out, the things I was grateful for, and slowly something amazing started to happen. I began to see patterns. I saw what was truly important to me and what was just taking up space. My mind started to clear up. Here's the big transformation. By the end of 1 week, I wasn't just writing down random thoughts. I was using my journal as a tool for reflection, planning, and even gratitude. I would write about my goals for the day, the things I was proud of, and even what I wanted to improve. It became this roadmap that helped me get out of my own head and put my thoughts into action. What did I learn from journaling? It's not about perfection. It's not about writing a masterpiece. It's about getting your thoughts out and organizing them in a way that helps you understand yourself better. It's about finding clarity in the chaos. And the best part? It only takes a few minutes each day. If you're dealing with mental overload like I was, I encourage you to give journaling a shot. Start small. Write down 3 things you're grateful for every day, or jot down your thoughts at the end of the day. After 1 week, you might be amazed at how much more focused and intentional you feel. Part 3. Habit. 3. Cutting down on screen time. Now here's a habit that I never thought would have such a huge impact on my life. Cutting down on screen time. Sounds simple, right? But if you're like I was, your phone is glued to your hand. Social media, emails, the endless scrolling. It's so easy to get lost in the digital world. It was draining my energy, and I didn't even realize it. I'd wake up and the first thing I did was grab my phone. Before even getting out of bed, I was checking emails, scrolling through Instagram, and reading news articles. My mind was being flooded with information, and most of it wasn't even important. I didn't know it at the time, but this constant digital distraction was affecting my mood, my focus, and my productivity. Here's what I did. I decided to set some boundaries for myself. No screens for the first hour of my day. I'd wake up, stretch, grab some water, and focus on myself. No distractions. At first, it felt a little strange. I was used to jumping straight into the digital world. But within a few days, I noticed something incredible happening. I felt more focused, more present, and my energy started to improve. By the end of the week, my productivity skyrocketed. I found that when I allowed myself time away from screens, I was able to prioritize what really mattered. Instead of reacting to notifications all day, I could actually focus on my tasks without feeling distracted every 5 minutes. What did I learn? The constant bombardment of information from our screens isn't just draining. It's like mental clutter. By setting boundaries, I gained back my mental space. It wasn't about avoiding screens altogether. It was about using them more intentionally, rather than letting them take control of my time. Here's a challenge for you. Try going screen-free for the first hour of your day, and then set a cutoff time in the evening. I promise by the end of the week, you'll start feeling less stressed, more grounded, and more in control of your time. Part 4. Habit. 4. Physical exercise. Every morning. Let me be real for a second. Exercise was always the last thing I wanted to do. I'd find every excuse to skip it. I'm too tired. I'll do it tomorrow. I don't have time. Sound familiar? That was me for the longest time. But here's the thing. I didn't realize how much exercise impacts not just your body, but your mind too. One morning I decided to get out of bed and force myself to move. I started small, just a quick 10-minute stretching routine. I didn't feel like going for a run or hitting the gym, so I didn't. I simply did some stretches and light yoga. The results? Incredible. After a few days, I noticed I had more energy. I felt less sluggish. I wasn't yawning every 5 minutes. And by the end of the week, I felt stronger, more motivated, and just better. Exercise didn't just change my body, it changed my mindset. What did I learn? Exercise isn't about having a perfect body or spending hours at the gym. It's about taking control of your energy, your mood, and your overall well-being. Even just 10-15 minutes every morning is enough to get those endorphins flowing, boost your mood, and set the tone for your day. You'll feel more focused, less stressed, and ready to take on whatever comes your way. So, here's what I recommend. Start small. You don't need to commit to an hour-long workout every day. Try a 10-minute routine in the morning, whether it's stretching, yoga, or a quick walk. It'll make a world of difference. By the end of the week, you'll notice that your energy levels have improved, and you're feeling better both physically and mentally. Part 5. Habit number 5. Practicing gratitude. All right. Now we're getting into something that might sound a little cliché at first, but trust me, it works. Practicing gratitude. I used to think gratitude was just some nice thing to do when you were in a good mood or during the holidays. But let me tell you, it's so much more powerful than that. I realized I had fallen into a trap of focusing on what was wrong in my life. My problems seemed huge. The stress of work, personal challenges, and just the daily grind. It all started to feel overwhelming. I was constantly looking at what I didn't have instead of what I did. And it made everything feel heavier. So, I decided to try something new. I started writing down 3 things I was grateful for every single day. Sounds simple, right? I thought it would be easy, but at first, it was hard. I had to dig deep some days to find things to be grateful for. But over time, it became easier. What I discovered was this. When you focus on gratitude, your perspective shifts. Instead of waking up and feeling defeated by everything I didn't have or everything I had to do, I started to feel a sense of abundance. I started noticing the small, beautiful things that I'd previously taken for granted. The fresh cup of coffee in the morning, the laughter with friends, the roof over my head. By the end of the week, I felt lighter. I was no longer bogged down by negativity. I was more content with what I had, and I began to attract more positivity into my life. Gratitude doesn't just change your mindset. It changes your energy. It changes how you interact with the world around you. What did I learn? Gratitude isn't just about being thankful on the good days. It's a habit that can reframe your entire perspective. When you start focusing on the positive, you'll find that you have more to be grateful for than you ever realized. Here's what I recommend. Start with 3 things you're grateful for every day. They don't have to be big things. It can be as simple as the sun shining, a good meal, or a moment of peace. It's not about the quantity. It's about the shift in mindset. Try this for 1 week, and I promise you'll start seeing your world in a whole new light. Part 6. Habit number 6. Setting boundaries and saying no. And finally, the last habit that completely changed my life, setting boundaries and learning to say no. Now, I know this one is tough. We've all been there. Saying yes to things we don't really want to do because we feel obligated or because we don't want to disappoint others. I used to be a people pleaser, saying yes to everything, even if it drained me. And let me tell you, that's a one-way ticket to burnout. But here's the thing. Saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes you smart. It means you're protecting your time, your energy, and your mental well-being. When I started saying no to things that didn't serve me, something amazing happened. I felt more in control of my life. I wasn't constantly running around, trying to please everyone, and neglecting my own needs. The first few days of saying no were uncomfortable. I worried about disappointing people, or worse, being seen as rude or inconsiderate. But after a week, I realized that by setting boundaries, I was actually being more respectful, to myself and to others. I was able to focus on the things that truly mattered to me, and my relationships became healthier because I wasn't resentful or burned out anymore. What did I learn? Setting boundaries isn't about being selfish. It's about being kind to yourself. It's about creating the space you need to live a life that's aligned with your values and protecting your energy for the things that truly matter. So here's a tip. Start by saying no to one thing this week that you feel obligated to do, but don't really want to. It could be a work request, a social commitment, or anything that's draining your energy. You'll be surprised how much power you feel when you take control of your time. Part 7. The ultimate takeaway. The power of small changes. So let's take a step back and reflect on what we've just covered. In just 1 week, by implementing 6 simple habits, I was able to transform my life in ways I never thought possible. And here's the kicker. None of these habits were earth-shattering. They weren't massive changes or impossible tasks. They were small, actionable steps I could commit to every day. And I'm willing to bet that if you try these habits, you'll experience the same kind of shift. The truth is, it's not the big life changes that create lasting transformation. It's the small, consistent actions you take every single day that compound and build upon each other. That's where the magic happens. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself that you'd change something, but then life got in the way, and you fell back into your old patterns? The reason those changes didn't stick is because they were too big, too overwhelming, or they didn't feel like part of your everyday routine. But with these 6 habits, you don't have to overhaul your life to see results. You just need to start small. Here's what I learned from this week. Small changes create big results, and that's the secret to sustained growth. These habits aren't about perfection. They're about progress. The key is consistency. Even on the days when you don't feel like it, keep going. The compound effect is real. I'll say it again. These 6 habits will not only improve your productivity, your mental health, and your relationships, they'll change your life. Start today. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because there's no such thing. The perfect moment is now. Part 8. Final call to action. It's your turn. So here we are at the end of this journey. But let me ask you one more question. Are you ready to make a change? Because the truth is, nothing will change until you do something about it. I've shared my story, but now it's time for you to take action. You might be thinking, yeah, this sounds great, but will it really work for me? And I get it. Change can be intimidating. But let me tell you something. If I can do it, so can you. I wasn't perfect. There were days I doubted myself, but I kept showing up. I kept making those small changes, and they added up. And guess what? You don't have to do this alone. The power to transform your life is already within you. All you need to do is take that first step. Start small. Start today. And most importantly, keep going. Here's what I want you to do. Choose one habit from this list and start incorporating it into your life today. Start small. Give it a week. Don't overthink it. Just do it and see what happens. I promise you'll start feeling the shift by the end of the week. And hey, if you need accountability, you're not alone. Share your journey with me in the comments or on social media. Let's do this together. Let's create a community where we can encourage each other to keep growing, keep improving, and keep living our best lives. Remember, small habits, big changes. It all starts with you. You've got this. Conclusion. All right, we've come to the end of this journey, and I want you to pause for a moment and reflect on everything we've talked about. Over the last week, you've seen how 6 small habits, things that don't take much time, effort, or energy, can completely transform your life. And here's the best part. These changes don't require a perfect start. They don't need to be overwhelming. And you don't have to have it all figured out right away. The truth is, the power of change lies in your hands. It's not about waiting for some grand moment to decide to start. It's about starting now, in the smallest way possible, and making that commitment to yourself. Start with one habit: meditation, journaling, cutting down on screen time, exercising, practicing gratitude, or setting boundaries, and let it build. Let it compound over time. Because that's how change happens. I know it's not always easy. There will be days when you feel like giving up, when it feels like nothing is changing, and when the old habits try to pull you back. But here's what you need to remember. It's not about being perfect. It's about progress. The more you show up for yourself, the more you'll notice the transformation. And trust me, the rewards are worth it. Your mindset will shift. Your energy will improve. Your life will start aligning with your deepest desires. So, here's your final challenge. Pick one habit from today's video, start tomorrow, and give it just 1 week. No excuses. You're not just investing in a habit. You're investing in yourself. This is your time to take control of your life, your energy, and your future. I'm here cheering you on every step of the way, and I want to hear about your journey. Share your experience in the comments below, or tag me on social media. Let's create a community where we support each other, encourage growth, and celebrate every small victory. Remember, you've got this. The power to change is within you. It's already happening. All you need to do is take that first step. Let's make this the week everything starts to shift for you.